Hello. I suppose you're wondering why I gathered you all here for dinner. Sorry, I grew up watching way too many Thin Man movies. I always wanted to say that. So, as Facebook may or may not have informed you, tomorrow, September 12th, is my birthday. It seems the older I get, the more often, when it comes to birthdays, I start playing my own personal reel of things I haven't done, places I haven't been, and such, rather than looking forward to all the cool things the year might have in stock. I tend to be much more fixated on what hasn't gone right. What I thought I was going to have accomplished by this time. So, I would like your help in fixing that problem. Not too long ago, I was driving somewhere with a friend of mine. We were driving in his car, and he kept listening to this John Mayer song over and over again, My Stupid Mouth. And I finally said, dude, what's up with the John Mayer? Do you really like John Mayer that much? He said, no, it's my new anthem. I'm like, okay. Do tell. He says, yeah. So he gives me this horribly painful story about how he was telling this girl this incredibly funny story. And how he blew it. He forgot part of it and said the wrong things, messed up somebody's name. It was just brutal. I actually think the story was probably one of mine. But he gets to the end. And he's about to tell the part where it's so funny that he's almost crying. And he tells her. And he's just like, okay, here's where she's going to be like blown away. I'm so funny. She's going to think, oh, she just nodded at me. She nodded at me and blinked a lot. Pretty soon she left. He was like, oh man, I was going to be so cool, I was going to be so funny. He thought he was going to be James Bond, so suave and slick. He's going on and on about this for a while. And he's like, I'm just never doing this again. I'm not funny. I'm just not going to be trying to be funny. I'm just going to give it up. You be the funny one. I'll do something else. And my first response is, why do I gots to be the funny one? My second response is, really, can we stop with the John Mayer now? Or at least take it off single song repeat over and over again. My third response was, yeah, you're right, you're not funny at all. Remember that time we were in that fast food place and you and I were talking about stuff, and there was that one girl who was eavesdropping, and you got to that thing you were talking about with your mom, and then she spit the Mountain Dew out her nose and was choking, and everyone's like, oh, do we need to get an ambulance? And we were like, oh, that was funny. Yeah, you're not a funny guy. He's like, oh yeah, that was pretty funny. Oh yeah, that was good, wasn't it? Yeah, she just spit the Mountain Dew right out of her nose. I wonder if she was okay. Remember that other time when you did that thing with the stick and yeah, that was great. So pretty soon we're driving along, thankfully, listening to one of John Mayer's other songs, and we're delving into our own personal mythology of all the cool events that we've seen and done and all the things that he said that have been, funny. We're focusing on his past accomplishments, on all the times where he just let off a zinger, or when somebody said something really mean and he had the perfect comeback and they just stood there and went like a goldfish. So he went from feeling like the organ grinder's monkey with that weird little hat and the painted on tuxedo thing and the clank and the cymbals to one of the cool James Bonds, not the weird disco Roger Moore early 80s one. So that's what I'm looking for here. If I have affected your life in some positive way, if you want to share your favorite me story or just have some sort of general encouragement of some sort, I suggest that you feel free to give it to me. Now, you can write it on a paper airplane and fly it to me if you want. I don't know for sure that that's going to work. Put it in an email, Facebook it, and if you're really brave, you can record yourself on the video, because the facial expressions thing is always cool. Or you can call my blog at 1-713-574-9075. Now, when it says enter your code, you enter in 877-1384. 87. I better check that out just to make sure, but I believe that's it. So, when it says start talking, you have up to an hour to tell your story. If your story is longer than an hour, hey, it's a great story. Feel free to call back a second time. Otherwise, I figure that's pretty much it. So, all kidding aside, what I'm trying to do is, I've noticed in my own life when I look at stuff that when I feel like I can't do something for whatever reason, that's not me, or I'm not that cool, or what's the point? When I'm focusing on the, hey, it's really unlikely that I'm going to be able to do that, it's hard to think of options. It's hard to think about things creatively. It's hard to even accept the cool stuff that comes along. But with repetition of some times when there was cool stuff, hey, remember that time when it shifts the odds, if you will, in my head. I go from feeling like, dude, I'm never going to be able to do this, to, hey, I kind of got this. Prior to doing that thing one time at that Chinese embassy, I don't think I would have ever thought I would do something like that. But hey, that worked out great. Remember how cool that was? Yeah. So pretty soon I go from feeling like, hey, there's no way I can do this, to there's no way I can fail. This is going to be a piece of cake. So, that's what I got. Your help would be appreciated, and I'll talk at you guys later. By the way, for those of you who are curious, you've been listening to the song stylings of a guy called Lee Morgan, and this is from his album The Blue Note Years. I remember Clifford, 1957. So, I'll catch you guys later.